Okay guys, today we're gonna look into the basics of user interface for 3ds Max. And then for new users, like if you doesn't know how to start with 3D Studio Max, you can probably look at my video. Okay, so same with other 3D application software. So usually we're having 4 views, and normally we have like top, front, left, perspective, and then these are all called viewports. And then in 3D Studio Max, like this is the main tab that you will probably have, like, and most of the time you will be looking into on how to create objects. Okay, so if you look at the first tab, like over here, and then you see like this is create tab. Okay, and then that's modify. This is the place where like you can change all sort of things like after you create something. So let's say for example we go ahead and click a teapot, and then click over here, and then if you don't like how it looks like, maybe you feel like the edges is not smooth enough, you can always look into here, modify tab, and then you can add the number of segments. Okay, so you can see that instantly it becomes smoother. And then at the moment, whenever you're creating 3D stuff, it's better that you turn on wireframe. Okay, so you can click F4 to turn on wireframe, and then you can click F3 to see through wireframe. Okay, so basically this is called wireframe unshaded, and this is called wireframe itself. Alright, and then if you click F4 again, and that is shaded mode. Okay, so now let's look into some other objects. Like we have a list of stuff that we can do, like can create in 3D Studio Max. So next we'll look into boxes. So for box, it is slightly more steps. Okay, 2 steps. So at first, like you click and drag, okay, to create the basic dimension of a box, and then after that you release your left mouse button and you can pull it up like that. And once you're happy with it, you can click and stop. Okay, so once you're done, always right click. Okay, so you can see that initially it's in blue color, and then after you right click it turns it off. Okay, and then same thing, like if you don't like and then you want to add more segments, you want to change and modify it again about the height, the width, and the length, you can always go to modify tab. Okay, so over here you can see like it's cm, mm, and then if you click F4, so you can see the wireframe. Okay, so over here we can click and increase the number of segments if we want to. Okay, so that is some basic stuff. So I'm going to go through with you guys like very quickly. So we have like tubes over here. Okay, of course, if you can always change like from here or either from modifier tab. Okay, so what else do we have? We have a sphere. Okay, and then at the moment I feel like this is a little bit cramped, and then I'll probably like to maximize the screen. So to maximize the screen, we can go to the bottom right corner, and you see there's this maximize viewport toggle. Okay, and there you go, we have a bigger space to work with. And if you want to know the shortcut keys of maximizing, we can click alternate W. Okay, so you can click on here and you click alternate W, over here alternate W, over here alternate W, and click it back. So yep, that's how we do it, like maximize the screen. So further, we would like to look into some other stuff. Okay, Taurus. Okay, we have like basic stuff. We have like text plus. Okay, so like you can type text and then it will mix it into a curve. Then after that we can turn it into 3D. Alright, so let's do it again. Yeah, it's there, like it's a bit flipping. And then like you can change the stuff you like over here. Okay, changing the size. Alright, and other stuff like you can do like extrude. Okay, so at the depth of the text, okay, if you want to change like hey, hello. Alright, sorry, hello. Can zoom it out. Okay, so we'll talk about like navigation in a while. So, and then of course, like other than standard primitives, we have extended primitives. So we even have like a box like chamfer box, which we can have a rounder edges for the box. And then we have an oil tank. So here's the oil tank. And then we have a capsule. It's about the same. you probably ask me the question like, why do we have roughly the same thing? Well, I'm not too sure, okay, because that is being there like for a long time, and then you should probably ask like Autodesk, like, why do they have this? Okay, and holes. Okay, we have a hole like over there. Okay, so right now you start to feel and get very excited, like you can create a lot of stuff in 3D Studio Max. So right now I will show you guys on how to navigate through the scene in 3D Studio Max. So firstly, to pan around in the scene, you can hold your middle mouse button, hold it down, and you can move the cameras around. Okay, and don't get me wrong, you are not moving the objects, okay, and you are moving just the camera. Okay, all right. The position, the coordinates of the object is the same. Okay, so as you can see over here. So next, if we want to rotate the scene, we can click alternate and middle mouse button. Okay, so you can rotate around, you can look at the bottom, look at the top. All right, and then to zoom in and out, like you can scroll your middle mouse button. Okay, if your mouse is having a bit of problem, like whenever you scroll, you see it feels like bup, 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 bup. Okay, so it doesn't go very smoothly. So if you want to type like it zooms very smoothly, you can hold down Control and alternate key plus middle mouse key and zoom in like that. Okay, alright, cool. Look around. Okay, so that's about like a basic stuff like with navigation on how to create objects. And next we want to cover translation. Okay, so we have like translate, like move, we have rotate, we have scale. Okay, so these are the tools that allows you to move your objects around and then do some placement. Okay, and then if you want to rotate, you can rotate, and if you want to scale meaning like size up or size down, you can do it over here. So let's say I'm choosing this. Okay, if I want to move my stuff around, over here, and then bear in mind that in 3D we have 3 different dimensions. Okay, so if you're kind of used to 2D, you have like X and Y, left, right, up, down, but this is 3D, so you have the depth which is a Y. Okay, but different software might have different depth access. So for example, like Maya, you could probably have depth with Z. Okay, and then as for 3D Studio Max, depth it's in Y dimension. Right, it's very annoying. Windows, I hate that. Like yeah, pop-up message. So you can move front and back. And then how do I know this is front and back? Because I'm looking at this. Okay, so that is front. Alright. Okay, so just want to show you guys some quick stuff. Okay, so even without knowing the very detailed techniques about how to modeling, you can do something pretty cool. Alright, so let's do a robot. Okay, so we have a sphere. Alright, or probably I think I would like to make the head that looks like that. Okay, chamfer box, and there you go. Alright, after that, like we can go into other views, like let's say front view, so we can click alternate W and look into front. Okay, that is really not front line, I'm facing the wrong way. Okay, so I would like to make that again. Go to here. Alright, pull it up, and there you go. Okay, and then we can add a sphere, back to standard, add a sphere and make an eye like that. Alright, and to select both objects at once, you can hold down Control key. Okay, so that's the basic stuff. To select both objects, to add selection, you can hold down Control key. Okay, let's go to top view and look around. Okay, that is a back view. Okay, so you can see that like this is a front view, so I would like to move my eyeball over here. Click F3, click P. Okay, it's back to normal. So you see, whenever we are in the front view, let's say we're back to front view, and then we try to rotate like alternate with middle mouse key, and then suddenly it turns very weird. Okay, like you can see the grid line looks very weird, and because it turns into orthographic view. Okay, so orthographic view, it's a view where it doesn't have the depth of the perspective. So you can click P and back to normal. Alright, so that's our head. And then next we look into extended, and we have, let's say, hose. Okay, so I want to create a hose and make a neck for the robot. Alright, so let's put it there. Okay, cool. So instead of like maybe recreate a chamfer box for the body, so I can actually make a copy and then pull it down here and change the size according to the way I want to. Okay, so to make copy of objects, you can hold Shift key and pull it down like that. Okay, so click the scale button, pull it up. Okay, shrink it down. Alright, and if you want to know the shortcut keys of these three things, we can click W for move, E for rotate, R for scale. Okay, so I'm going to start making copies over here. Alright, Shift and make a copy. Okay, so in the clone options, like we have copy, instance, and references. So basically, copy is a new copy, instance is whatever you do here, it follows. Okay, it's like a kind of like a clone. Okay, so you have the same like ID, whatever you change on the later stage, like vertex, polygon, edge, and it will follow the same. And reference is about the same as instance. So at the moment, we'll be using copies. Okay, if you want a proper name, you can name it properly, but at the moment, I'll just leave it there. Okay, so scale it down with R. Put it over here, and then create one more copy and scale it slightly longer. Okay, that's good. Let's look into other stuff. So maybe I will like to make a sphere. Okay, sorry, not probably like a cylinder. Okay, so let's go to the other view. So instead of like kind of alternate W, minimize, and then go to the other view and maximize, I can actually click some shortcuts. So if you go to here, perspective, you have like L for left, F for front, B for bottom, T for top. Okay, so let's go to the left, L. Okay, and then after that, like maybe let me create some connections in between. Okay, so that's probably the pelvis for the robot. Alright, let's put it here, and then I'll probably like to make a copy and scale it down and make it longer and put it back. Okay, looks cool. Alright, okay, so since we're having this like over here, I might probably want to create something different. Okay, maybe let's make a copy. Okay, and then after that I will probably reduce the height and then reduce the number of sides. Okay, let's make it 5-sided pentagon because I want to make it like a screw. Okay, so maybe 6 is better. Alright, so scale it up and push it down. I put it over here, and then at the moment I think there's no need for us to have like 5 segments, so I'll be bringing it down by right clicking. Okay, so in 3ds Max, right click allows you to reduce the values down to the minimum level. Okay, so let's make a copy again, scale it down. Alright, okay, so let's go to here and then holding down Control key and add a selection. If you select something like wrongly like that, let's say for example, you can click alternate to unselect this. Okay, you can click alternate to unselect that. Alright, so shift and make a copy and rotate over. Okay, so if you want a very accurate rotation, you can turn on this. Okay, you see the magnets over here. I saw 4 magnetic icons, so this is for rotation. Okay, so if you turn it on, activate it, then you can rotate with fixed degrees, like for example 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and so on. Okay, so let's put it there. Alright, okay, and what else? Maybe I'm just gonna create a stick for it. Let's go to box. Okay, let's create a stick for it. Boom. Okay, and back to here. So as I said again, like I mentioned before, so if we doesn't need any of those segments, we can right click. Okay, so you might be asking questions like, what's the point? Like we keep it there, it doesn't change, we doesn't lose anything, so why don't we put it there? Okay, in 3D it's actually better that if you're not using the polygons, because whenever you have like more segments, it adds more polygons, and then the more polygons you have, it burdens up your scene. Okay, so even though like my computer it's kind of okay, like by the way I'm using Alienware 2017 version, okay, laptop, so this is not a burden for me, but you keep it a habit, like you want to keep it low poly if you don't really need those polygons. Okay, so let's make a copy over there. Alright, so I'm gonna make the final point, like make a copy, okay, and then scale it down. So I don't want to make it like a very detailed tutorial, okay, so it's just like an introduction and basic stuff. Okay, so regardless like whether you know like any detail like polygon, vertex, edges or not, this is good to start with. Okay, so you don't know anything about 3D, you can also follow. Okay, so this is like purely for beginners. Okay, so scale, maybe scale it up like that. So I'm not having identical stuff. If you want identical, delete it off and then shift and copy over. Alright, okay, so next just gonna create arms for the robot. Okay, armless, seems very pretty. Okay, so go to side view, left view, click L. Okay, so we're wondering like, how about if we want to go to right view? Okay, so if you go to here, you see like we don't have a shortcut for right view. Okay, so if you want to know like is there a way like for us to set a shortcut? So is it forever that we can't click a shortcut, we have to go to here? The answer is no. Okay, because 3D Max has been designed in a flexible way that you can create your own custom shortcut keys. Okay, so I'll show you guys like in future like tutorials if you want to know. Okay, that talks about like the UIs if you want to change the UI. Okay, and if you want to add some custom shortcut keys, if you want to change the color, so we can look into that in the other tutorials next time. Okay, so click and drag. Okay, put it up there. Click P, so back to normal. Go to here and then go under modifier tab. So I don't really need that much, so probably drop it down to 20. And then I want to turn on slice on. Okay, there you go. Rotate over. Okay, that doesn't look nice. Probably this is better. Alright. Okay, so just I thought you all like how to make a copy and then rotate over. So in a while, like you don't really have to rotate over. I'll teach you a new technique on how to duplicate everything over. Okay, and using mirror tool, and the mirror tool is up here. Okay, before I make a mirror, I'll probably just want to add the arms, so preferably a cylinder. Alright, so click and drag. Okay, so there's another thing like a tool which is quite useful. So it's called align. So like for example, you want to align to here, so you are doing manually, so it's a bit difficult. So if you see the button that is beside mirror, okay, that's called align. So pick this object you want to align to and click on that, and click on the sphere and apply. Okay, so you'll align based on your pivot point. So let's rotate it down like that. Okay, go to here and change the size you want it to, so make it up to 12. Alright, then we can always make a copy out of it. Okay, from there, and then turn off slice. Okay, and then after that you can shift and make a copy, rotate over. Okay, then you can extend the arms. Okay, so I don't want to make like very complicated stuff, just this is enough. Okay, and after that, how to make a mirror. Okay, so select all, or you can select with holding down Control. back to W, move tool, click on the mirror. Alright, so in mirror there's a few options that you want to be careful. Okay, so if your character is facing front, like the ones I have over here, so you have no problems. Alright, so you click X mirror. Okay, that will do. Alright, so because X is like going the other side, and a mirror, it will be mirroring the whole thing to the other side. So at the moment we're not picking up like any of the options here, because it says like no clone, so you'll lose your original object. So let's click copy, click OK, and then we can move everything over. But if you want to know like really how closely or how accurate, like how many units, like let's say this is the center of the robot, so there's like 5 units distance. How do we make sure that it's 5 units distance over here to the other side? So we can talk about it like in the other videos. Okay, so because this is purely for basic stuff. Alright, so let's move it up. And if there's anything like you want to know, like you want to ask questions, you can always leave your comments below. And then if you like learn something and then you want to know how it can be done, you can always leave the comments, and then I'll probably create another tutorial for you guys. Okay, so before we finalize everything up, so let's create a plane for it. Okay, and let's create some cool shader for it. Okay, because at the moment it looks very cartoony, so I always like to give my end products a cool looking materials. So let's select all of it. Let's go to material, okay, and click and drag and drop. Alright, so if you are the first time that opens up a material editor, so you're most probably having this. Okay, so it's gonna wait for a while. The first time you open, it always takes a bit of time. So after you have opened it once, and then the second time you open again, that it will be back to a normal speed. Pretty upset, like you have to wait. My bad, I shouldn't click the button. Okay, there you go. So if this is the first time you open up like 3D Studio Max, so these are the views that you're gonna have. So normally I will recommend beginners to change to and switch to compact material editor. Okay, and this is what you have. So let's drag and drop, and let's put up some specular levels. Okay, so pull it up and then shrink it down. So shrinking it down basically shrink down the highlights. Okay, it makes it look more metallic. So if you pull it up higher and then shrink it down further, and then you can click the diffuse to play with the colors just a bit. Alright, and close, and click F4 to turn off. Okay, so this is what you have, like your robots. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for watching. And if you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel, and then more tutorials are coming. Thanks, I'll see you next time.